Hi everyone, welcome to another appointment with Moving To, and today we are going to talk about moving to Belgium together with Margherita. Hi Margherita.
Hi Rossella.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you for accepting to be here with us and talk about your experience a little bit. So before leaving to you the stage and introduce and guide to the steps to move to Belgium, I just want to introduce you shortly. So you live in Brussels since some years already.
Yes, 13 since 2009. Yeah.
So it's quite a long time. And of course, you also have a social media account on Instagram where people can reach out to you in case they have questions. And it's La Marge, but everyone will find the information in the description on this video. So Margherita, tell a little bit about you and then we deep dive in the steps to move to Belgium.
So hello everyone, my name is Margherita. I've been living in Belgium, especially in Brussels, since 2009, so quite a long time. I am working for an European institution, as many people here in Brussels, and I enjoy being here. There are like 150 nationalities represented. It's beautiful. It's a multicultural environment, which is what I was looking for, coming from Treviso, which is a very small town in Italy.
I can imagine. Well, it's always nice to hear people that enjoy their living abroad. It's important also to, go on and motivate the others that are listening to us. So to go to our topic of today, moving to Belgium. What are the first steps we need to do? And of course, I want to remind everyone that we are talking about the standard procedure and it also based on your experience. I will leave in the description some link to the official websites so everyone can have a look and see what are the essential steps to move for their situation. But generally speaking, what is the first step to take moving to Belgium?
So I have a disclaimer, and I have to say that if you come to Belgium and you are going to work for an international institution, you will be helped. So they will give you guidance to follow and the necessary steps to get the residence, etc., etc. But generally speaking, as so to say, normal expat coming over to Belgium, the first thing you should do is looking for an accommodation, meaning not a hotel, but a kind of maybe short-term apartment if it's not possible to find any other stable accommodation. Because when you're going to register in the local municipality, which is of course the first step, which is required, they will ask you for a permanent address. Permanent also to say quite reliable address. So
somewhere where you have a contract, basically.
Also for a couple of months or 3 months, yes, but not a hotel or an Airbnb. It is not accepted from the municipality.
Okay, that's important.
That's important because, and also, of course, the Belgian market adapted to that because we have a huge turnover of expats coming and going, of course. And so they have quite a few choices of serviced apartment, for example, like apartments with any kind of facilities you might like, meals included, for example, in the monthly rate. But for short-term periods, because of course, then you will have the time to look for another accommodation like a normal apartment. Well, you can also be hosted by a friend or something, but I've seen through friends and acquaintances that sometimes they are not super happy to have this kind of option in the municipality. So it's better to have a contract, as you said. Okay. And then you go to the municipality. Every municipality has their own bureau d'étrangère, the expat department. You go there. Normally, you also should speak English. Doesn't happen everywhere, but most of the times, let's say. From day one, you have 8 days to register to the municipality.
Okay, so it's quite short, the time that you have. When you arrive, you have 8 days then to register.
Yeah.
Very straightforward.
This is what they say, but of course, if you do not pass the 3 months of permanence in Belgium, they are flexible. Anyway,
okay.
They're not going to chase you. but still, better to pay attention.
Of course.
Yeah. To do that, you would need your address, your permanent address, your ID card, visa if you are outside of the EU, etc., etc. And then you will get the national number, which is something that is so important here in Belgium. It is something that identifies you and it gives you access to social security and to health insurance. So it is very important to get this national number. And of course, with this national number, you will get the identity card. Through this, you will get also the Belgian residency permit. After you register to the commune, you might expect a visit from the local police. They will check that you are actually living there. Okay. If you're not at home, they will leave a note, and then maybe you can arrange another appointment, etc. So don't be scared.
I guess this is something that happened also in Italy. Maybe not in everywhere, but it's something that should happen.
Yeah, when you ask for the residence,
And to make this happen, basically, to get your residence permission and your ID, you need to do it in different offices. So you need to make appointments, or you can do it online.
You can do it online now because after COVID, everything is online. So you can get the appointment online. And I think it is even centralized because, for example, in Brussels, we have different municipalities. And there is a centralized tool where you can book according to where you live. This is what I've been told. Otherwise, every commune, every municipality, they have their own website, and you can easily even reply to emails. So,
wow,
I'm impressed. Yes.
That's impressive. Yeah, indeed. Good. So first steps is done. We need the registration, and of course, then we have our ID and permission to live there. So as you say, the ID is going to give also the opportunity to assess the health system. The health system is always something very important and a little bit tricky, but how does it work in Belgium?
So your health system in Belgium depends on your social security. So first of all, you have to be registered for social security, and normally it comes from your employer when you get a job contract. Of course, if you're independent, you will register yourself and pay for it. And then it comes straight with that, because they will pay you the percentage which will be withdrawn from your salary. And then you have the main health insurance in Belgium is public, and it is called the mutuelle.
Mutuelle is also the name as in France. We were talking about it a few years ago, moving to France, and the name is the same. So I guess it works similarly.
Through this beautiful national number that will be tattooed on your skin forever, you can get this health insurance. So let's say if you're an employee, let's say that your employer will pay for you, but then you will have to choose the mutuelle, so the insurance company that you want to be with. You have different options. There are different offers. They might offer you also with complementary things, like if you subscribe forever, then they will give you something, etc., etc. And normally, how does it work? You pay doctor you go to upfront,
Okay.
and then you claim the reimbursement with the receipt to your mutual. But they will reimburse you more or less the 75%.
Okay, 75% refund. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Of course, there are several options to upgrade it, either with your mutual, either with a private insurance, which will cover the rest.
Yeah, other extras.
Exactly. And Belgians are very proud to say that Belgian health insurance is one of the best in Europe.
Okay.
I don't know if it is true. Well, personally, I had very good experience with Belgian doctors, etc. So I don't have any complaint, I have to say.
Okay. Well, this is also important because if you are in need of a doctor and you know that the health system works well and the doctor are professional and they know what they are doing,
Yeah,
is definitely important. Plus, if it is basically public, so you can just go on with the public one.
yes.
It's also important at the beginning when you need to settle down because you don't know exactly maybe what are the costs. So you just go for the public and then later on you can decide if you want or not a private one. So
exactly. And also doctors, they receive publicly, but they also have maybe their private practice.
okay.
But then some of them, they are they call it conventioned to the mutual. So if they're conventioned, even if you pay for the private practice, you will get reimbursed anyway.
Okay.
If they're not, okay, then you will pay the full amount, or you will be reimbursed through the private insurance if you have it. The funny thing, well, for me it was funny when I got here. It is that in Belgium you don't have to have your personal general practitioner, your family doctor, as we call it.
Okay, a GP. Okay.
The GP. You don't have to have it. You can go, well, you can go to whoever you want, whoever you choose. You just call, you take an appointment and you go. Then it would be up to you to do the follow-up among all these doctors, but otherwise you're free.
Okay. This is the first time that I hear something like that. It's common.
And also you don't need prescriptions to go to a specialist, for example. You just call it and you go. The nice thing is that once you are registered in the health insurance system, you are registered everywhere, meaning that if I call an hospital because I want to get an appointment with a doctor and I've never been to that hospital, for example, they know me already.
You are in a database, basically.
Yeah, which I find very convenient because, for example, in Italy, I remember sometimes you have to go with the little books of your exams.
With all your exams, your medical history, basically you have to bring with you. That's true. Yes, that's true. And this is, of course, works not only in your city or region, but for all the country, basically, in everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you move maybe from one city to another, you will be registered anyway in the health system, so they can see it.
I should check. Check honestly, but I think so because the ID, which is where the national number is national. So
yeah, it should be like that. It makes sense. And you have talked about reimbursement, refund from the health system, and depending what you do and how much you pay, a 75% average of refunding. This goes to your bank account. And the question that I had in my mind is, do you need to have a Belgian bank account for that, or it doesn't really matter? And I will move also to the next question that is a little bit related. For work, do they prefer you to have a Belgian bank account, or at least if it's an European one, it's fine anyway?
I would say that you would definitely need a Belgian bank account. If you stay in Belgium for less than 3 months, you're allowed to get healthcare with the European Health Insurance Card, which is something that you can request to your national healthcare system. And then in that case, you can keep your own bank account. But in Belgium, no, I would suggest to open a Belgian one. Also, and especially to get your salary. For example, where I work in an European institution, I am not allowed to be paid in an Italian bank account. I have to have the Belgian one, even an international institution. So
interesting. So let's talk a little bit about costs. Is Belgium an expensive country or better? Let's talk about Brussels, that is where you live, so it's better. And to give us an idea how much the cost of living can be, what would be the asking price to rent 1-bedroom apartment, let's say, average?
Okay. Yes, I checked the average because it really depends on the neighborhood you want to live in. And this is really something here in Brussels. Okay, it is everywhere in the world, but also here it happens. So let's say 1-bedroom apartment, which will not be a studio, in the average would be from 500 to 600 euros per month. Not so much, right?
It's quite cheap. Yeah, I'm impressed.
No, it is. Of course, you can find 800, you can find 400. But of course, it depends on the condition of the building, on the neighborhood, on the condition of the flat itself, etc. Whereas for a 3-bedroom apartment, that would be the average in Brussels, it would be 1,500.
1,500 for 3-bedroom apartments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely have chosen the wrong country where to
I know.
I mean, compared to the Netherlands, it's super cheap because the average price of a 3-bedroom apartment in Belgium is the average price of 1-bedroom apartment in the Netherlands. It's unbelievable. Yes.
Brussels, it is expensive compared to a little town in Italy, but compared to Milan, no. I wouldn't say it's expensive. No.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I can confirm since I have been living in Milan for 5 years. So considering these prices, yes. Of course, it also depends the average of the salary in general.
The minimum wage is 1,600 more or less.
Okay, well, then it's really fair. The prices are quite fair, I would say.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine for the housing. It's still fine.
Yeah, yeah. And let's move to the question that maybe in Belgium is the most difficult one, because we know that Belgium has different languages. Sometimes we go there and we know that we need to speak French, but in the north of the country, maybe we can also speak Dutch, because Flemish is very similar. So we definitely can understand each other. But what and Brussels, of course, I mean, is the center of the world, or at least is the center of the European world. So what is the language that you need to speak for work, for social life, if there is any difference, or do you need to speak more, English included?
It depends. It depends on the kind of job you're going to do. Because, for example, in my case, we work mainly in English, and you are requested to speak another European language. But of course, in my case, it is Italian, because it is my mother tongue. So I already have 2. Then I can have as many languages as I want. But for example, also in some vacancies, the knowledge of French is preferable sometimes, but sometimes it's not even requested, because the working language is English.
Okay.
And this happens also to other international institutions such as NATO, for example, or the United Nations, or other kind of pharmaceutical companies, there are many of them here in Brussels, in Belgium in general. But then, so you can basically and definitely survive with English only. Okay. You can. Absolutely, you can, but you would be limited because in your daily life, because sometimes when you do groceries and you want to talk with your neighbor, or you go to the municipality and then you end up with somebody who's not speaking in English, then it's a bit annoying, So I would definitely suggest to learn French as soon as possible.
What about the documents?
Documents are in French or Dutch?
Okay, so
to be fair, I should also mention that the third official language in Belgium is also German.
Okay, so
there
is so much to learn.
It's not very much used, but still.
Okay, yeah, but let's say that the most important languages are English and French.
In Brussels.
Besides that, they go like Dutch, of course.
In the Flanders, which is the Flemish part of the country, then they will definitely be happy to help you in English instead of French. They're super good with languages. They're very much gifted, and they most of them are perfectly bilingual, which is different in Wallonia, which is the French-speaking part, and then it's just French, unfortunately.
Okay.
Then it's just French, and you would be lucky to find somebody English-speaking, but definitely not Dutch-speaking.
So again, English and French are definitely the most important languages to learn. Moving to Belgium. So if you already have a base of both language, it's better.
Italian is spoken everywhere.
Oh, well, because we are everywhere.
We are everywhere. The first community of immigrants in Belgium is Moroccan. Sorry, first French, then Moroccan, then Italian, something like that.
We're quite a group.
Also, sometimes it's amazing because even if they're not Italian, but they study Italian because they love it.
Because they love it.
Yes, because it's musical.
Yeah, they always say so, yeah. People that like Italian always say that when we speak, it's like we sing. Okay, Margherita, I guess we have covered at least the most important topics, and we gave enough info. Again, as I said before, in the description, I'm going to leave the links to some official website as well as your contact in case someone is in Brussels and want to reach you out for a chat, for some information, or just to get in touch. And do you have any other thing you want to add, any tip you want to give, since you are a long-time expat person now?
Well, I have to say that Brussels is a very nice compromise. If you want to have the vibe of a capital, of a metropolis, but still it is a city on a human scale. In some areas, even if you're in the city center, you have this village atmosphere. It is kind of human friendly, I have to say. Also, to go from a place to the other, the commuting is not so time consuming as it would be in London or in Paris, for example. We are just 1 million here in Brussels. So
it's not that big.
Although traffic is very, very problematic. Yeah, but we have a wonderful net of transport. So.
Okay, public transportation, so it works. That's also important to know for someone that yeah, is moving to a different country, maybe doesn't want to bring a car, doesn't have a car, so having a good...
You don't need a car. You don't need a car in Brussels. You can easily live without.
Okay, that's good. And yeah, it's also nice to see that and to know that it's not an overwhelming city, even if it's famous. And as I said before, Brussels can be considered the center European world, but still is there is this human feelings, human vibes that are
sometimes
deserved.
Also for this lack of maybe sometimes organizations or you would expect a bit more, you know, like we are the capital of Europe, come on. But it's so villagey sometimes, really. It's
okay, well,
very big.
They keep a low profile, let's say.
Definitely.
So again, Margherita, thank you a lot for your time and your info. And
thank you.
We definitely talk soon again.
Yes, with pleasure.
Have a good day, and thank you everyone that is listening. Bye.
Bye.